Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah, there are no words worth saying except to convey all praise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because all this blessing and generosity still provide opportunity for us to live in this world. And don't forget to send salawat and salam to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who has brought us from the era of driving camel to the era of driving a Toyota. Okay, the first, let me introduce myself. My name is A.Nurfasila Syam from PBI Churi. Inshallah, in this video, I will finish my test for phonetic and phonology. Here, I will discuss material about phonetic as a study of speech sound, the benefits of phonetic as a study of English sound, the production of English consonant sound in manner and place of articulation, the production of English consonant sound in distinctive feathers, and the last phonetic exercise for articulate English consonant sound. Okay, first I will discuss material about phonetic as a study of speech sound. The first we have now, what is phonetic? So according to dictionary, shows that phonetic is the study of the sound of human speech, using the mouth, throat, sinus-nasal cavity, and lungs. Then according to expert, Lanfer assert that phonetic is a keen study of speech sound in any language too, which has three branches, namely articulatory, acoustic, and auditory phonetic. Phonetic articulation deals with how sound is articulated where the mouth, tongue, and lungs are part of the system. Phonetic hearing is related to the way it sounds when articulated. Acoustic phonetic is about how sound is felt in our brain. And from that definition, I can interpret that phonetic is a field of linguistics that study the components of language sound produced by speech device or speech organs that are used to recognize how to pronounce symbols different and how to articulate phonetic symbol correctly. Then phonetic as a study of speech sound can be understood as a set of typical sounds that are produced when people speak in certain language. I will give an example in the word food. This word seems to have three different sounds, namely V, U, and D, where V is a representative of the letter V, U is a representative of the letters U, and D are representative of the letters D. Because of that, we can see what is written here does not match what I'm saying, because a speech sound is not about letters used to spell words, but about what we hear. Then phonetic as a study of speech organ. Organic phonetic is investigating how language sound are produced by means or organ of speech. What is the position and movement of the lips, tongue, and other human organ that produce sounds or sound of language. These organs such as lip, teeth, alveolary, hair palate, velum or soft palate, uvula, glottis, and tongue. For example, when I say the letters P, and B, then my upper lip and lower lips touch each other and function to produce that letter, and that is what is called organ speech. Then phonetic as a study of speech production. Tall sound production refers to the process of using the organs of speech and then makes a sound that starts from the drain of the air supplied by the lungs pulmonary euphorgin, then pass through the glottis, larynx, which is then modified by the oral cavity or nasal cavity, which become different sound quality, namely consonant and vowels. Consonant sound are made by blocking the flow of air. Some consonant letters can represent more than one different consonant sound. For example, the consonant C can represent the sound S, as in the word sis, and the sound K as in the word column. Okay, this material about is phonetic as a study of speech sound. The second, I will discuss material about the benefits of phonetic as a study of speech of English sound. Okay, next, problem in product consonant sound. There are 7 consonant sound made by Indonesian English student. 1. Problem in product sound. In product this English sound, the usual mistake is to replace it with which is also known as a variative labidental sound. The difference is only in the condition of the vocal cords, where is a voice sound if is a voice sound well and is a voicel sound. For example, in the word villa is pronounced villa by sudden, where this V is in the initial position. Then in the word clever is pronounced clever by sudden, where the V position is in middle. And in the word give by pronounced give by sudden, where V is in the final position. Then problem in product sound. In product this English sound, the usual mistake is to replace it with the sound. For example, change the sound to sound as in the word they is pronounced they by sudden. Other example include the word thou, which must be pronounced thou in English, but is pronounced thou by a sudden. Then a problem in product sound. In product this English sound, the usual mistake is to replace it with the sound. For example, replace the sound with the sound, as in the word thunder, but pronounce thunder by sudden. Another example of replace the sound with the sound, as in the word birthday, but is pronounced birthday by sudden. Then problem in product sound. In product this English sound, the usual mistake is to replace it with and. This error usually occurs when the sound is at the beginning and in the middle of a word, and this error is not found at the end of a word. For example, replacing with the sound, as in the word Marcin, but pronounced Marcin by sudden. Then a problem in product sound. In product this English sound, the usual mistake is to replace it with the sound. For example, replace with the sound, as in the word general, but is pronounced general by sudden. Then problem in product sound. In product this English sound, the usual mistake is to replace it with the sound. For example, replace the sound with, as in the word decision. However, is pronounced decision by sudden. Then problem in product sound. The last consonant that is also a problem for sudden is the sound. In product this English sound, the usual mistake is to replace it with the sound. Usually this only happens if the sound is in the middle position. For example, in the word present, present, but say present by sudden. Okay, problem in production vocal sound. Vocal sound are divided into two, namely long vowels and short vowels. Okay, problem in production vocal sound. Vocal sound are divided into two, namely long vowels and short vowels. Problem in production sound. In production, this English sound, the usual mistake is to replace it with the sound in the initial position and in the middle position. For example, replacing the sound of with as in the word examine, but is pronounced examine by sudden. Then problem in product sound. In products this English sound, the usual mistake is to replace it with and. For example, replacing the sound with as in the word said by spoken, said by sudden. Next problem in production sound. In production this English sound, the usual mistake is to replace it with the sound. For example, is the word multiple but spoken multiple by some people. Then problem in production sound you. In production this English sound, the usual mistake is to replace it with the sound you. Example like the word look, they will reject with the look, not look. Then problem about exchange thoughts and. For example, in articulate the word knowledge when the truth knowledge. Then problem in product sound. In product this English sound, the usual mistake is to replace it with the sound and. For example, replace the sound with the sound as in the word corpus, but is pronounced corpus by the learner. And problem in product diphthong. In production this English sound, the usual mistake is to replace it with the sound as in the word identify, but a sudden prefer their participation as identify. Then problem in product diphthong. In product this English sound, the usual mistake is to replace it with an sound as in the word break, where students participate in diphthong by voice. This word is spoken break. Then a problem in product diphthong. In product this English sound, the usual mistake is to replace it with the sound as in the word before. As in the word previous, but pronounced previous. Then problem in product diphthong. As in the word over, they replace the sound O with the sound O, and the pronunciation of the word becomes over. Then benefits provided by phonetic to overcome problems. Riedi said there are two main factors causing students to face this problem. First, students have no knowledge of the English phonetic system before they learn English pronunciation. Though English phonetic knowledge is very helpful to make students accustomed to English vowels. Then secondly, they still cannot pronounce vowels correctly because they rarely practice speaking short and long English vowels, but both inside and outside the classroom. The river, as research, Riyadi Strong recommended a student to learn English phonetic and practice its more before learning English pronunciation. He believes that this effort will help students get a good basis for good English pronunciation. This refers to the specific location in the mouth in which two speech organs work together in product a consonant sound. Example, the tongue and the teeth come together in forming a dental sound. There are six speech organs used to other consonant sound: the eye, the lips, the teeth, the alveoli, the hard palate, and the soft palate or velum, and four parts of the tongue: the eye, the tip, the blood, the body, and the root. In the terms of place of articulation, consonant sound in American English can be classified into 8 sounds: Celsius, Murcia, Briton, and Godwin, and they are easily remembered by the acronym Bila Dapat Perfect Lola, in which B is for bilabial, La is for labiodental, D is for dental, A is for alveolar, Pet is for palatal, Pa is for palato-alveolar, Fe is for velar, Glo is for glottal, and La is for labiovelar. Bilabial sound, PBM, consonant sound which are produced by putting two lips together as in sound B and the word pie, P in the word pay, and M in the word my. The following figures obviously literature where bilabial sound are produced. Labiodental sound, F and V, consonant sounds which are produced by contacting the lower lip and upper teeth as in sound F in the word five, and V in the word villa. The following figures illustrate the product of the sounds. Dental sounds. The consonant sounds are made when chalk tip for sound or tongue blade. For sound contact upper teeth, as in the two sounds, as in the word Thursday, and sound ziz, Thursday and ziz. The figures below gives an illustration of how the sound are pronounced. Alveolar. Alveolar sounds T, D, N, I, S, and Z. Consonant sound are made when the tongue tip contact the alveolar right, as sound T in the word tie, sound D in the word die, sound N as in the word night, or sound A or sound L as in the word lie, or tongue blade contacts the alveolar right as sounds as in the word sight, sight, or sound Z as in the word zeal. The following figures illustrate where the sound are produced. Palatal sound. These sounds are produced when the blade of the tongue, middle of tongue, touch the hard palates, as in the word judge, and chew, and as in the word jant. The following figure clearly shows use where these consonants are made. Palato-alveolar sound. The sounds are articulate when the tip, the blade of the tongue approach or touch The alveolar, the right, and the main body of the tongue appraise the hair palate in the mouth. Example, as in the word, a sound as in the word ship. A sip, a sip in the word. The tip of the tongue is used sound as in the word casual, casual, in which the blade of the tongue is used and sound as in the word remember, remember, in which the tip of the tongue approach or never touch the area in the mouth between alveolar right and hard palate. The sound are called palato-alveolar because the production of the sound involves the place of articulation, ei the alveolar right as the primary articulation and palatal as the second articulation. The following figure illustrates the production of these sounds. Then velar sounds, K, G, N. These consonant sounds are produced when the back of the tongue touches the soft palate. Next, velar consonant, K, G, N. These consonant sounds are produced when the back of the tongue touches the soft palate in the phylum, as sound K in the word cup, sound G as in the word gape, gape, and sound N is in the word sing, sing. Take a look at the figure below to see where the sound are produced. Then glottal sound, H. This consonant sound is produced when the flow of air is stopped by the glottis with some contraction of the glottis closing, and then release. Example sound H as in the word how and who. The articulation of this sound can obviously seen in the following figure. Then labiovelar sound, W. This consonant sound is produced then when the back part of tongue consonant, the soft palate and lips also come close to each other. Example, we watch. The following figure gives an illustration where this sound is pronounced. Then manner of articulation. Manner of articulation described two things. The first, how two different organs of speech interact one another in product consonant sound. The second, how the airflow is obstructed to affect the product of consonant sound quality. Thus, the manner of articulation is determined which present distinctive filters of consonant sound in the English language because it is possible to make several different consonant sound at the same place of articulation. The river manner of articulation give basic destination of how consonant sound are made through seven concept of manner of articulation, stops, fricatives, affricatives, nasals, lateral, and approximant. The six manner of articulation are easily remembered by the acronym STO-FANASLA. STO stands for stop, V stands for fricative, A stands for affricative, NAS stands for nasal, L stands for lateral, A stands for approximant. The seven concepts are present in the following discussion. 1. A soft or plosive in this manner of articulation. Consonant sound are produced by closing the speech organs, both oral and nasal cavity. That the airstream is blocked, it results are air pressure in the oral cavity. When the air pressure is suddenly released, expiration will occur. The English consonant sound produced through this manner of articulation are P as in the word pen, T as in the word tea, K as in the word K, and B as in the word buy, D as in the word D, G as in the word go. The following figure shows how the English consonant sounds are made by this type of manner of articulation. Your dictionary a distinctive feature is defined as something unique or different that sets something apart from the others. In English, several different consonant sounds are produced in the same place. For example, sound P and B. These voices are both identified as bilabial. They are produced in the same place, but there are distinctive features that distinguish these two sounds. Then, to test the sound quality of consonant sound, we can place our fingers in the upper throat. This is done to find out whether the vocal cords vibrate or not when a particular consonant sound is made. For example, is distinguished sound P and P. The learners product sound P while placing their fingers over the voice box. They should not feel the vibration. The reverse sound P is known as a voiceless sound in terms of distinctive features to sound B, whereas in the case of sound B, the learners feel the vibration. The reverse, the sound B is then called as a voice sound. Is a nutshell, sound P is a voiced bilabial stop, and sound B is a voiced bilabial stop. In English, consonant sounds are not only produced when articulate single letters, but some are also produced by a combination of letters in English word that product by single consonant and consonant sound combination. This is also called mixed sound or consonant cluster. Is a group of 2 or 3 consonants in words that make consonant different sound. For example, in the word school, in that word, we can see the combination of consonant ch. The letter combination is then produced as in the pronunciation of the word in the word school is pronounced as cool in English. In pronunciation, we recognize 2 types of consonant sound, including in voice without vibration P, K, T, Ch, F, Sa, S, Sh, H. Voice with vibration B, G, D, J, V, Ja, Z, Z, L, M, N, I, N, R, G, W. When sounding the letters in voice consonant, the condition of the lips, tongue, and throat does not vibrate at all. Conversely, when hearing the voice consonant letters, one of the 3 members of the body experiences a vibration. Here is a voice comparison, voice and unvoiced consonant. Unvoiced consonant, voice consonant. P, map, 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 kick, geek, to, do, church, chime, fine, vine, zin, zen, 6, zoo, shoe, vision, happy. The rest are voice consonant voice that have no comparison with unvoiced, including like, mine, nine, rin, rate, jazz, win. Maybe I think that's all. Number 5. Why do children need phonetic practice? Knowing phonetic theory is never enough for children. We need to go further, namely practicing the theory, doing phonetic exercise. Why do we need practice? Namely to help us get used to English words, to improve our pronunciation of English. Then how we can form English sound by using speech organs, and to minimize or even avoid our pronunciation mistakes in English pronunciation, we need practice. Phonetic exercise instruction. Focus on making the necessary consonant sound. Think about how to make the required consonant sound in truth at the place of articulation, and how to articulate before making a sound. Produce the needed sound slowly and accurately. When you are accustomed to making sound accurately, you can produce sound smoothly. In my opinion, first we must know the types of vowel and consonant sound and how to pronounce them. We also need to know how to distinguish between place of articulation. Then we have to watch Bollywood movies often to practice our accent. Short vowels are short vowels. E. Example: pit, bin, feel, intent. A. Example: dress, bed. Ow. Example: loud and wish. I. Example: love and mud. O or U. Example: wood and good. O, oe, oa, o. Example: a, syllable, moment, again, and mother. Long vowels are vocals that sound a little long. E. Example: marathon, see, ear, Example: bird, bird, turn, turn. U. Example: juice, two. A. Example: star, father. O. Example: word, word. Then, diphthong vowels are two vowels that are spoken in one time or can be interpreted by the sound of weakness. A. Example: rain and case. I. Example: kind and flight. O. Example: town, alone, alone. O. Example: house and brown. O. Example: toy and coil. U. Example: here and beer. A. Example: virus, virus and fear, fear. UA. Example: kejir, kejir or tourist, tourist. Then consonant fricative is a fricative consonant is a shriek. This sound is a combination of sibilant and explosive or plosive. Fricative consonants are produced by forcing air out through a narrow canal formed by tightening two articulators, lower lip, lower cheek, tongue. For example, the lower lip and rows of upper teeth. F. Example: weave and knife. V. Example: village, village or villa, villa. Sa, sa. Example: zing, zing. Ja. Example: zouse and brother. Is. Example: crazy and lazy. She. Example: sharp or cash. The. Example: delusion, delusion. Example: hello, help and hello, hello. Then consonant plosive are sound that are emitted by an exposition of air. Their sound occur because of the sound being held in the mouth of the articulation in the mouth. P. Example: kite, purpose, purpose. No, purpose, purpose. B. Example: bubble, bubble, bill and rope. T. Example: train, tail and lead. D. Example: day, drive and down. K. Example: quick, cricket and shark. G. Example: green and grouse and flag. Then consonant fricative is a combination of inhibitory and fricative sound. This sound is also called the sound of friction or consonant alloys. Ch, ch. Example: cheese, twist. J, j. Example: jungle, jungle, jazz, jazz and stage. Then number 7, nasal consonant. Nasal consonant are nasal sound issued through the aid of the nasal cavity. M. Example: mother, mother. Then N. Example: nobody, nobody. And ten, ten. N. Example: zing, zing, and song. Then number 8, consonant approximant are sound that are product between the tongue and lips without contact with one another, which involve articulators approaching each other gently. R. Example: river, river, and ride and rain. J. Example: jungle, jungle. Then W. Example: work, work, wine, and word. L. Example: lot, lip, and long. That was my knowledge of phonetics about how we know what phonetic is, concept of phonetic, what are the benefits of phonetic in English, the place to articulate phonetics, and how we project or practice the phonetic concept in English. I apologize for the many mistakes I made because I just learned. My advice to teacher who teach about this subject is that in addition to giving theory, they also practice their study on how to project sound in English, because I personally really need this lesson. And to English learners, my advice is never to stop learning phonetics. We can pronounce sentence correctly. Maybe that's all for me. Previously, then to Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala will so that I could complete this material. And thank you very much to my lecturer, the exceptional Sir Kahar, who gave phonetic knowledge very very well. And also thanks to my beloved family for support me to complete this video. Finally, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.